poison gas system.
So I just wrapped up playing a few hours of High on Life 2, and boy, oh boy, it was a wild ride. Okay, hey there, I'm Kennergy. Just to let you know, this is a first impressions video. I had roughly 3 hours with the game. I beat the first boss, and I decided to jump on here to tell you my first impressions. Full disclosure, I did get an early access key from the High on Life PR team. Shout out to them for reaching out to a small creator like me, but that does not mean they have any say on what I'm telling you. This is completely my own thoughts. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So I never played a High on Life game, but I knew what I was getting into. Even so, I did not know what I was getting into. High on Life 2 is an absolute wild ride. Well, High on Life 2 has a lot of personality. This series is known for its crude humor.
You're trash! Outlaw trash!
Its outlandish kind of worlds and characters. So the sequel, of course, gives you more talking guns. They're called Gatling guns, and each has its own weird personality and abilities.
I don't know these people. I'm just a sad loser whose wife is probably about to divorce me.
I love switching between them to juggle enemies and to solve puzzles. Although some of the gameplay still lacks that precision of a pure shooter, it was still a lot of fun because the guns talk and they have these huge personalities, and it kind of makes you feel like the gun you choose not only matters for the enemy you're fighting, but also for the dialogue you're going to be hearing while you're shooting, which I think is pretty cool. Now, of course, the humor is the biggest thing on these High on Life games. They are unapologetically crude and crass and relentless.
Oh, God, I can't wait to kill this guy. So annoying.
They really go all in with the adult humor. A lot of it could be overwhelming for somebody who doesn't know what they're getting into, but I believe that that's what makes these games so special. They have that super over the top, super in your face humor that either you get with or you get out. So with humor being the baseline, that means the voice acting has to be great. And I can tell you, even after just 3 hours, the voice acting is incredible. The dialogue is crisp. There's so much emotion. There's so much feeling in it. It feels like you're in a movie with a gun.
Hello, and welcome to the Pink Stock Finery Boutique. My name is Thurston Goodwell, the preeminent sartorial expert on Circuit Arcadia.
So let's talk about the variety of the game. Not only do you have variety when it comes to guns and their abilities and their personalities, but you're also giving a skateboard. So traversal is this new kind of element. You can skate around, you can grind on rails while you're shooting enemies, you can zip line to certain points, and it really creates this high dynamic, high energy combat system, which I found really fun. But I will also say it sort of felt limited. Although they're trying to go for what it feels like this Tony Hawk with first-person shooter mosh podge, it also feels limited because you really can't do any like kick flips or tricks, which I would have loved for them to include. So when I'm shooting somebody or grinding on a rail, I could also be thinking, what kind of trick combo can I change? They may have it in the later game, I'm not sure, but I think introducing that in the beginning would have been awesome if they do have it, or introducing that at all, because it just gives it another layer of complexity, another layer of energy, and another layer of things you have to think about while you're shooting and traversing the field. Now, when it comes to the variety of gameplay, you're not only just solving puzzles, shooting enemies, listening to dialogues, but there's also like these mini kind of games you're dealing with. In the first 3 hours, I had to drink and get wasted with this guy to gain his trust. And then a few minutes later, I was doing this whole murder mystery dinner thing. So the variety is there. And I think that creates this element of surprise, an element of slowing down, where you think that, oh, it's going to be dialogue shooter, where it's really dialogue. I don't know what happens next. Dialogue, I don't know what happens next. And I really like that feeling of not knowing. And this was an early access build that I received, so I did have some bugs and some performance issues. So I was playing on a 4070 with frame gen on a 2K monitor. I had all settings to medium, and early in the game there was some frame dips. I was getting like 20 frames per second at some point. It was really just crawling and slowing down, but it did pick up after a few seconds. So it wasn't like I was living in that space forever. I did not experience any crashes, which was nice, and I only had to experience that in the beginning because as the game went on, I didn't have any more of those issues. Again, early access build, it may not be like that when it ships out, so just keep that in mind. So overall, what are my first impressions of High on Life 2? As someone who's never played the first one, I thought this was a roller coaster. The humor was spot on at times. Obviously it missed, but that is how humor works. Sometimes you're funny, sometimes you're not.
I'm not gonna sulk all night just because Jan's not here. Jan's my wife, by the way.
I will say the voice acting was amazing. The world building was very impressive. There were times where I was just looking around because they're so thorough in every little detail that nothing feels out of place. All the NPCs seem lively, and their lines and dialogues had me chuckling at times.
I just fell off the wagon. Oh, no, not for alcohol. I was addicted to going to the beach.
I like the fact that they've switched up the variety of kind of gameplay and mechanics and problems you have to solve, so I never felt stagnant even in those 3 hours. And I don't want to spoil the boss fight, but I will say the boss fight was surprisingly impressive because of the mechanics you had to learn to defeat the boss. Now, I got it killed in my first pass because, again, this isn't a game where you're going to be gripping your controllers and being super competitive. It's more laid back, enjoy the world, enjoy the story, enjoy the performance, and then you can play at your own pace. I would say High on Life 2 is an excellent palate cleanser. It's a nice kind of shift from the games I normally play, which are competitive, or they're super interactive, or they're super just like sweaty. This game is more laid back, and I really like the fact that I didn't know what I was getting even as I was playing the game. It's hard to find a rhythm with this kind of game because you just don't know what's going to happen next, and I believe that is its biggest strength. So at the time of this recording, there are some full reviews out. Right now, Metacritic has this game sitting at a 74, while IGN has it sitting at a 6. So kind of a mixed bag. In closing, I think High on Life 2 is a game that's going to service that particular genre of players who love High on Life. Crude humor, funny characters, excellent experience, and just a game where you can sit down and have fun. I think it delivers on that. If you're looking for something more competitive, something more polished, I don't know if this is going to be the game for you, but I can say in the first 3 hours of playing it, I did have a lot of fun. Plus, they did a great job on the graphics. As you know, I'm a stickler for graphics, so High on Life 2 has excellent graphics. I can give it a thumbs up for that. So the good news is High on Life 2 is also on Game Pass day one. If you have Ultimate, you can play this game right now without spending any extra money. And if you want to jump in and just see what it's like, you can find yourself doing it there. So High on Life 2, those are my first impressions, not a full review after the first 3 hours and fighting and defeating the first boss. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a palate cleanser, and I definitely think if you like this genre of game, you're going to like this genre of game. Let me know if this is the kind of game for you, or if this is the kind of game you are just going to skip. Let me know in the comments. I've been Kennergy, you've been great, and I'll see you next time.